sound good.
Okay,
so the question is, do you need the internet to use APRS? For the most part, APRS, the packet network that's global, is standalone, and it's backed by the internet. So the answer is a qualified no. You don't need the internet to use APRS. There's digipeaters all over all over your state probably. And they're in high locations, and you can send out a packet or a message or a position, and these digipeaters are going to pick you up and bounce your packet all over, well, in my case, Northern California. So yeah, I can send a message, usually from radios from here in like Sacramento, and send them down as far as maybe the Bay Area, Northern California, Redding, and with no internet whatsoever. Now, if the internet is up and available, I can send it to any radio in the world, and the system's smart enough to route the long path through the internet, and it'll pop up on RF where the intended target is, or the intended radio is. So the answer to the question, do you need internet for APRS? You don't need it, but it helps.
Along with internet, do I need a cell phone or a hotspot? Do I need any of these things to make the APRS thing work?
Do you need a cell phone or a hotspot? You don't need one. What you really need is an APRS-enabled HT or mobile device. Now, I have built a hotspot that we're calling the DigiPi. It's a data transceiver. Like, we have hotspots like ZoomSpot and OpenSpot, and they're little Raspberry Pi-based things. In fact, I can show you one right here. And those are digital voice transceivers, so they'll do like DMR and digital voice transceivers. But what we built here is called the DigiPi. It's a digital data transceiver, and APRS is just one of the many digital modes that this thing will do. And you can hook it up to a radio like this. This is Yaesu 991. It's hooked up there, and this you can. And to answer the rest of your question, do you need a cell phone? You don't need one, but I have a cell phone right here, and it's basically remote controlling this DigiPi. And so here's all the APRS packets coming in on my phone. I can do stuff like send a beacon. Camera. So this is the DigiPi hotspot right here.
We're not showing it. I'm not seeing any of that.
Let me click on this. How about now?
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. Okay.
All right. So this is the DigiPi hotspot. Remember, this is a data spot, so to speak, not for voice, but this is actually for data. So it's a data transceiver spot, and that's called the DigiPi, and that's software that I worked on with a few other people to build this thing. And to answer your question as far as the cell phone goes, yeah, the cell phone is actually connected to this spot over Bluetooth. I don't know if that's coming in very well, but I can do things like everything you can do on a radio. Like I can send my position. I don't know if it transmitted. I'm going to do it again. There it is. And this thing will transmit my position. And my radio just went nuts because I heard my packet. And it gets repeated, and I can do messaging and send text. If I want to send text to another radio, excuse me, I can go into messages. And there's other radios I can send messages to. So, for example, I want to send a message to this guy. In fact, I think I talked to this guy using the International Space Station as a repeater, using all of this hardware, everything you see right here on this data hotspot and this cell phone. So to answer your question, you don't need a hotspot, you don't need a cell phone, but if you've got a cool base station set up, maybe you want to build a DigiPi. This can become a digipeater. It can become what we call a terminal node controller, or TNC. And then you can use your cell phone to operate the APRS packet stuff. Because honestly, typing on your radio sucks, right? I know a lot of people turned off the APRS because, typing on your radio, trying to do everything I just did, sending messages and positions, using a keyboard like that. And I understand it. In the field, it works. But if you have a cell phone and a digital data transceiver, like the DigiPi here, you can use your cell phone to do everything. And in fact, I take this as backpacking with me. Everything you just saw, cell phone, an HT as just the radio, and then I plug that Raspberry Pi thing into it. And then actually my wife could text her daughter. We were up in Desolation Wilderness, and because we had this DigiPi and her cell phone, she was able to text our daughter back and forth using the APRS network, bridge to the internet, of course.
Very, very cool. Got a question here. let's switch off here. Xander Marks asks, can a not yet licensed person listen or look at APRS legally? And I guess I can actually answer this. The only thing you can't do as an unlicensed person is hit that PTT button, or in the case of APRS, the beacon, because you won't have a call sign, number one, and you got to have a call sign to use the APRS, but you can monitor it. Craig, am I wrong?
That's absolutely right. I don't think it's illegal to listen to anything except possibly cell phone bans. This is only in the United States and the FCC jurisdiction, which of course is a very small part of the world. But yeah, you can listen. In fact, a lot of people will get those little RTL SDR dongles and plug them into their computer, and you get a full band scope, and you can listen to almost any frequency. I don't think you get HF, but you can tune to 144.390. And a lot of times there will be an APRS FSK decoder in that software, and you can see the APRS packet stream on your computer without a radio, no transmitter, just an SDR receiver.
Nice.
Perfectly legit.
Let's see. So then, now the big question. Tell us about, oh man. I'm trying to get the switcher to work here, and it doesn't want to work. Tell us about your DigiPi project.
All right, can you hear me? I can see you. Can you hear me, Bob?
Yeah. Your audio's a little bit, I think you're on the webcam again.
All right, let me check it. All right, how about now? My audio should be pretty good. Can you hear me?
It's not bad. Not bad at all.
No, you're right. I'm back on the webcam.
Yep.
My USB is crap. So if I ever unplug, I get shoved back to the next closest USB audio source. I should sound good now, right?
Sound fantastic now.
All right, I'm going to keep an eye on that. Yeah, these USB ports are done on this PC. So let's see the DigiPi project. So this is again that data transceiver. It's a data transceiver. It's like the ultimate modem for your amateur radio, and it does every digital mode you can think of. And I'm not exaggerating here. It really can do every digital mode. APRS is just one digital mode. This thing will do PSK31, Contessa. It'll even do CW. I mean, I don't know CW. I wish I did, but I don't. But this will actually do CW. Like the Zoom spot or like the Open spot, you don't need to know Linux. You don't need to know how Raspberry Pis work. It's all completely web-based. It's all web-driven. In fact, what I might do is go ahead and share my screen. What can you see? Can you see me in the DigiPi?
I see you right now.
Let me switch it over. I'm learning your web camera interface at school. All right, so the DigiPi is this Raspberry Pi right here. It's a Raspberry Pi Zero, and it's really these three components. So there's the Raspberry Pi Zero right here, then a little stacking header, and then we have an audio card for our radio. If we don't have a USB-based radio, we can plug this into our mobile rigs. And then there's a kind of a convenient little screen. So there's these three things stacked on top of each other, and that's what you're looking at right here. And that is the DigiPi. And right now it's an APRS digipeater mode. So it's my house is actually a digipeater for APRS, but it'll do all kinds of cool modes. In fact, let me share my screen. Just share a window here. So again, you don't need to have a Linux command line. Are you seeing a web browser there, Bob?
I did for just a second, and let me pull that up. Okay, there you go. Now you're on. So all you need to operate this DigiPi, this digital data transceiver, is like your cell phone or a tablet or a computer, more specifically just a web browser. And so the DigiPi, you have all these digital modes you can turn off and on. Like right now, I said it's an APRS digipeater, which we've been talking about. But I could turn this into a Linux node if I wanted to. And
become part of the AX.25 network, or maybe I wanted to become an email server and use WinLink, or maybe I wanted to just check my email, send and receive email over the AX.25 network here on VHF, or I could even go global and kick on the RDOT modem and go and check my email via any station in the world, really, as far as HF goes. The stuff we recently added to this is we can actually do FTA, slow scan television, and FLDigi, again, all in a web browser. There's no keyboard, there's no monitor for any of this. I can fire up any one of these data services and use them using like a Wi-Fi device, a cell phone, tablet, computer, over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So that's what the DigiPi is. It's a data transceiver. Think of it like it's the ultimate modem. So if we wanted to, I know we want to stick to APRS a little bit today, but I'm going to put this over into DigiPeter mode. I just clicked on the AX.25. Put it into Linux node services, AX.25 node, and there's a little green light here. So now this is like a bulletin board on the radio network. So we're not doing APRS anymore. We're actually doing AX.25 networking, and it's now a node in the network for Northern California. And there's a bulletin board here that we can use. Let me go over to AX call over here, and I can connect to my own bulletin board. Hopefully this is sharing up okay and big enough.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to log in as my call sign.
Oh, hang on.
Board.
I didn't want you to. I didn't want to give up any trade secrets there. Let me jump back
up.
My
password. I was half expecting that to be echo out.
Okay.
So this is the bulletin board. So anyone can connect to my bulletin board using AX.25 networking anywhere in Northern California, especially if they leverage digipeters, which repeat packets, repeaters that are up on mountains. And I can do stuff like, I can connect to another radio, connect either radio device, MPV, NOD. In fact, I got to switch it over to a AX.25 frequency. I'm currently on 145.730. Let's just see if we can connect to another radio. My power is kind of low. Let's see if it connects.
So
we're in node mode. Go ahead.
So a couple of questions while we're doing this. Let's see. God, I'm so confused. I don't even know what to ask, to be honest.
So go back to 1985, Bob. Remember connecting to bulletin board systems?
Right.
This is that totally reimagined using radio networks instead of modems and plain old telephone services. So instead of using a modem to connect to America Online or some bulletin board, we're using the RF spectrum as a physical layer to connect to other radios, and those have bulletin boards on them. And in fact, I'm connected to one on the other side of the valley on Mount Vacca. It's called MTV NOD. And I just asked it for a listing of other nodes that it has seen. And I'm connected to it using AX.25. It's a connected transport protocol, so that the packets are send and resend. If there's noise and a packet doesn't get through, it'll resend it. There's acknowledgments in the protocol stack. So this is AX.25, a packet radio. This is kind of like one step above APRS. So once you've mastered APRS, I would suggest you start looking into packet radio, specifically AX.25. And the DigiPi that I just showed you will do all of this. It'll not only do APRS, but it'll do all of this AX.25 network stack stuff. In fact, in my DigiPi, just to make it interesting, you remember the Infocom games like Zork and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? They actually released the source code for those. They were just text adventure games, right? They were cool, but I actually compiled them and then put them into the DigiPi. So the bulletin board for a DigiPi actually has Zork and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So if I type Zork, hopefully you can see this. Here we are, Zork, the Great Underground Empire. There's a small mailbox here, open mailbox, and anyone can do this over the radio. To my node. So here we are playing video games over AX.25, totally reimagining old games using, modern technology, to implement this using the DigiPi and just a web browser. I don't want you guys to know a Linux command line or how Raspberry Pis work. I'm just going to say quick. We're not going to play this over.
Wow, nice.
So that's just a quick shot of the DigiPi and all of the stuff it can do. So we just scratched the surface. This will do APRS, it'll do that AX.25 networking. I'm not even going to WinLink and whatnot, but if you're into FTA, that'll do all of this stuff. And of course, it's available at Krager.org/DigiPi. Krager.org/DigiPi. Everything you need to purchase. We got a shopping list here, and Raspberry Pi Zero, they're cheap. They're like $10. You need a little audio board and that optional little screen.
That was my next question. I've got man, we got a ton of comments and questions coming in. Any questions can you put in caps? Somebody said that. Well, yeah, so you could try that. If I catch it, I catch it. Like I said, the best way, questions are super chats. Let's see. Somebody said, where can I buy? Simon says, where can I buy the DigiPi? So there's some stuff, and what I'll do is I will have Craig give me basically the shopping list, whether it's on Amazon or whatever, and I'll set it up so it'll be in the description on the playback. You'll be able to go on and pick everything up. And Craig, you have what? How do you get the software end of the DigiPi?
So the shopping list is on Krager.org/DigiPi, Kraiger.org/DigiPi. And it should be showing in this browser window. So the hardware list is there, the things you need to buy, the Pi, the audio hat, if you need one, and maybe that little monitor. And then the software is at the very top. Now, currently it's only available to patrons of KM6LYW radio, mostly because I want to keep the community small while we're doing heavy development. So if you just kick $1 into patreon.com/KM6LYW, I'll give you the password to get a copy of the SD card image for the DigiPi. And so again, it's at the software image is at the top of Krager.org/DigiPi. It looks like my audio phased out again on me too. I'm back on.
No, it's wonderful now.
Okay.
Man, you're booming in. Beautiful.
Cool.
Let's see. Looking through here. Spend our super chat money on ham radios. Okay, Marlon Thompson says he's broke. Spent his super chat money on ham radios and parts that I review. Okay, I get it. Let's see. Man, that looks you've got some very cool stuff on the website there. Guys, like I said before, number one, if you're watching this on playback and you like the video, please give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already hit the subscribe over here, please hit the subscribe here. Please leave a comment, because comments are working. Your comments, your interaction here on the channel, it is making a huge difference, and the word is getting out to more and more hams across the world, across the country. I mean, as evidenced by VK Land, Israel, the Netherlands, all here for lunch and ham radio. That is very, very cool, my friends. And be sure and go to KM6LYW radio on YouTube. Give him a subscribe and give him some like and some love on YouTube there.